welcome back to Pete's Classic Cycle, and today I'd like to talk to all of you about sport bikes and how they've evolved over the years. So when looking back at the 1970s and thinking about sport bikes, you're probably envisioning twin shocks out the back, a naked steel frame, and an air-cooled motor. Now fast forward to the 90s and you're probably envisioning rear monoshock, full fairing aluminum twin spar frame, and a liquid-cooled engine. But what about the 1980s? You see, depending when exactly you're thinking, sport bikes could look completely different from one year to the next. So when did the big change happen? Well, I believe you're looking at it right here. You see, over a 6-year development program, Kawasaki literally rewrote the entire rulebook on what they believed a sport bike should be. And the end result was this, the Kawasaki GPZ900R. So yeah, I truly believe that this is the genesis for all modern sport bikes to come. You see, it's got a rear monoshock, full fairing body, a new frame design that eliminated front down tubes, and at last, the piece de resistance, something that is still put into sport bikes today, 38 years later, an inline-4 liquid-cooled twin-cam 16-valve engine. And all this together worked. You see, during its first production year, it was the world's fastest motorcycle. It ran a sub 12-second quarter mile. And to top it all off, Kawasaki branded this motorcycle a name that would become synonymous with all sport bikes to come, the Ninja. So when it came time to film the movie Top Gun, it was only fitting that the main character, a US Navy fighter pilot, would be riding the most extreme motorcycle available at that time. Now, I know that's a drum that has been beaten to death over the years when it comes to these bikes. But to me, that's okay, because similar to the DeLorean from Back to the Future, it's really helped keep them relevant all these years. And as a humble movie enthusiast, I know I'll never own a Time Machine DeLorean. I'll never own an Eleanor Mustang or even a Batmobile. But I can own one of these. So come with me now as I attempt to recreate the original Top Gun GPZ, and I will live my childhood fantasy of becoming Lieutenant Pete Mitchell.
Let's go! Woo! It's all right, man. Going on the track. Got it. Come on, man. Just one more gear. Got a bike to build. Sorry.
So to create an accurate Top Gun replica, it's not as easy as just simply slapping some stickers on the tank and calling it a day. If you had a keen eye, you would notice that the bike in the movie had no Kawasaki badging and the stripes are actually in a different orientation. Unfortunately, that now puts me into a bit of a pickle. As a sucker for originality, I really can't bring myself to strip good original bodywork, and a lot of times the plastics on these old bikes can be riddled with stress cracks and damage. So that means I now have to find new old bodywork in good enough condition to use, with bad enough paint that I don't mind painting over it, all trying to stay within a budget, and basically I'm in an endless cycle of never getting my project done. Luckily for me, there's a really good solution to this problem, and that comes in the form of one of these. Now this is part of a full fairing kit available online, already painted in the appropriate Top Gun color scheme. Now although this bodywork is sometimes a topic of controversy due to fitment issues, the general consensus is with a bit of love you can get it to fit and they do the job just fine. And considering they cost just a fraction of what the paint and materials alone would be to redo one of these bikes, I'm willing to take that risk. I was then able to source some movie accurate tank decals, so with that and the bodywork figured out, it is now time to, dare I say, turn and burn? No? Let's build ourselves a Top Gun bike.
Excuse me, Lieutenant, there's something wrong.
Well, we just saw MiG-28 to a 4G negative dive. Where? That's classified. Oops, that's embarrassing. Back to the build. Well, as you can see, the DeLorean isn't the only Hollywood star that can travel through time, because here we are actually 3 years in the future from where you last saw me getting started on this project. and the bike is looking pretty good. I've got all the new bodywork fitted. It was a bit of work getting it to fit correctly. The Dremel definitely became my best friend through that process, and I've got all the correct Top Gun stickers on in the correct places. So aesthetically, yes, this looks like the Top Gun bike, and over the last 3 years, I've had a lot of fun with it. I've taken it to motorcycle shows, it's been on display at my local Kawasaki dealership, and at all those places, it's brought a lot of joy and smiles to a lot of people. I absolutely love when people can come up, see the bike, and kind of relive that 80s movie nostalgia. And that has been an incredibly rewarding thing to see. But like a lot of projects, this got put on the back burner and has basically sat as it is. I've never mechanically gone through the bike to get it running. So it is now time to go through the rest of the bike and get this thing running as good as it looks. Well, speaking of Iceman, there's nothing cool about this bike as I just discovered a couple coolant leaks. Now you can't talk about Top Gun without having a little bit of fun. So I've already mentioned why they chose this bike. I've mentioned the stripes being in a different orientation from factory, but I never actually talked about the motorcycles that were used on set. To film the movie Top Gun, they actually had 2 separate GPZs on set, and the production crew that was responsible for building them actually made a few crucial mistakes. And those mistakes lied in where these decals were placed. You see, between the 2 bikes that were both used on screen, a few of these decals are actually in different positions or different orientations. Meaning there's no one true Top Gun replica. And truth be told, you'll never notice. In watching the movie, the bike's always in motion, so you'll never really be able to tell bike A to bike B. But I thought that was a cool little fact that most people don't know. So when building a Top Gun bike, don't stress about getting the decals in exact placement, because truth is, they were never in exact placement to begin with. Well, we are now at the pivotal point in the build where it is time to fire up the bike. Just a quick recap on some of the things that were done to this motor was the valves were readjusted, brand new spark plugs, the clutch has been rebuilt, the carbs have been rebuilt, all new intake rubbers, new air filter, all that good stuff. So it is now time to send fuel down to the carburetors, then we'll fire this thing up. It should be lots of fun. Wish me luck. Choke on. Ignition on, fire extinguisher ready. Whoa, we have life. Whoa, okay, that's a good start. It's alive! Awesome! Hey, that's not too bad. Not bad. Needs some work. It was running on choke, but hey, it actually runs. That's a heck of a lot better than it was before. All right, well, let's proceed with the carb sync. So as you saw, the bike runs, which is always a great sign. After working on something, if you can get it to start, you're halfway there. I couldn't get the bike to maintain an idle without the choke on because the carbs are completely out of whack. So I've been playing with them a little bit. I think I've got them to a point where I'm now ready to synchronize the carburetors. And for that, I'm using my brand new DigiSync digital synchronizer. I didn't want to mess around with the mercury tubes or the vacuum gauges or those fluids or anything like that. I just wanted a good plug and play unit. So I've done all my research and this seems to be the one to buy. So as per my instructions here, I'm looking for a difference of 2.7 kilopascals or 2 centimeters mercury difference in any of the two carburetors, and an idle speed of 1,000 RPM. Beautiful numbers there. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Yes! Yes!
Whew! Well, what a relief that is. I'm so excited that all this work is starting to pay off and there's now light at the end of the tunnel. We are one major step closer to getting the GPZ back on the road. One major step closer to fulfilling my dream of becoming Lieutenant Pete Mitchell, and one major step closer to letting the good times roll. If you guys can't tell, I'm incredibly excited right now. This is absolutely awesome. This is, I've been waiting a long time for this day. Went through a lot of troubleshooting and reached out to a lot of people. So a thank you to everybody that has helped me through this journey to get this bike running as it should. So all that's left to do now is finish off a few loose ends, get the body work back on this thing. Hopefully the wheels don't fall off when I ride it, and then we're good to go. And just like that, with a little bit of editing magic, the bike is finished and put back together, which means there are two things left to do. First of all, let's take this thing off the lift and see if it actually does fulfill that need for speed. And second, to the average classic motorcycle enthusiast and untrained eye, this might look like the perfect Top Gun replica. But there is one place where this thing will be judged and scrutinized amongst its movie peers, and that is Comic Con. So I'm gonna load this thing up in the trailer, take it to the local Niagara Falls Comic Con, where it will be surrounded by movie buffs, critics, aficionados, and they will give me the final stamp on approval to say, yes, this is in fact a Top Gun motorcycle. It should be a lot of fun. Let's go check it out and see what sorts of reactions this thing gets at the Niagara Falls Comic Con. Hey there, I've got a Top Gun motorcycle to load for the event. Is it okay to pop the trailer in there quick to load it, or?
Is it ready to go, or?
Yeah, I just gotta drop the trailer and bring it up to the gate. We're at the Niagara Falls Comic Con. For those of you who don't know, it's a festival for all things pop culture. Of course, I didn't build this bike just because I like motorcycles. I also like Top Gun in the movies, so let's see what sort of reaction we can get from the fans. One thing we're trying to do here today at Comic Con is see if I convince the moviegoers, the enthusiasts, whether or not this is an accurate replica.
I think it's a pretty good replica. And to be honest, when I was standing back, I was like, is that Tom Cruise over there with his bike?
You got the decals and everything. Like, that's the sweetest part of it, is the decals. Like, no one will put those on nowadays. That's totally like...
Yeah. So if I took this down to Myanmar, they'd let me on the runway?
No helmet and everything.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You can't wear a helmet if you're Tom Cruise.
No,
you can't cover this up.
It's unfortunate that in Canada you can't really be you.
You say Top Gun, I say top notch.
Ah, love it. Cowabunga, guys.
Nice bike.
Thanks.
Taking a picture?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I'm with Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm your new co-pilot.
I'm about a foot taller than real Tom, but...
Hey everybody, I'm here with Pete from Pete's Classic Cycles, and look at this bad boy you got here. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I just got here, and the first thing is I pull up, and I see this beautiful contraption. Can you tell me a little about it?
So this is a 1985 Kawasaki GPZ900R, which to all of the you layman's out there is the Top Gun bike.
I gotta tell you, when I first strolled up, I saw you, the bike, and a swarm of ladies all around you, all around. Everybody's loving this bike. You get a lot of people coming asking for pics today?
To be honest, I think they thought Tom Cruise was here. So the ladies were looking for Tom, and unfortunately they got stuck with me.
Mr. Cruise.
Hey, hey.
Cool motorcycle.
Thank you. Oh yeah. You can't have the bike without the jacket. You can't have the jacket without the glasses or the dog tags. So it's a whole ensemble, and yeah, it's just my little piece of 80s movie nostalgia.
There we go.
Oh,
We got the one. There we go. Pete's Classic Cycles. Check them out on YouTube, and come down to Comic Con. Check it out too.
You guys heard it from the fans at Comic Con. The Top Gun GPC passes the test. This is an accurate movie replica. So hope you guys enjoyed this little side clip from Pete's Classic Cycle. Now back to the garage.